All right, I'm finally making this Q&A video. It is either the start or finish of my YouTube long form content. Yeah, I chucked up on my story I think a week or so ago, and I'm doing a Q&A, and I got some really good questions from you guys. So really kind of dive into it and just in a bit more detail as well, because I could have done it and posted on my stories or like made some short form content as well. But ultimately, like I put a lot of thought into during the challenge, but also afterwards and upon some reflection into some of these questions. So it was good for myself to kind of ponder on them and go through it, but kind of share it with you guys as well. So first question was, what made you decide to start 75 Hard? And looking back, it was actually quite early on in the year. So I think I started in late Jan, and I was actually looking for a way to kind of just like challenge myself and set the momentum for the year. And especially like after starting the Obi's Ordinary page and starting to talk about the 9 dimensions of wealth, I was like, I'm going to look to do something challenging, something out there that can really enhance my own 9 dimensions of wealth and kind of show the journey and document the journey. And also I'd seen, a few other people do 75 Hard. I had a couple mates that had done it as well. Some people hadn't even actually finished it either. But you saw guys like, Alfie Robertson. He was ultimately the one that did inspire me to do it, and just seeing, the growth that he had, not just personally, but also in his personal brand as well. So that was one, part of it, because obviously starting Obi's Ordinary as well, looking to kind of drive that engagement. But I knew that ultimately, like, if I had started 75 Hard and just done the same monotonous thing each and every day, that you would get bored and I would get bored as shit. So that's why I decided to add the challenge aspect as well and kind of get, my audience involved as much as possible, giving me the challenges that would ultimately get me out there and out of my comfort zone even more, so I can kind of, create unique and different bits of content each and every day. And it's pretty fair to mention that I kind of had the time and flexibility to add that additional aspect of the challenge as well, because with my role of now like working remotely and the kind of benefits that come with that, I was often working at home and was pretty flexible in whether I had to do challenges in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. But if I'd prefer to do it in the morning and the afternoon, because trying to do it at night as well, then you have to do the filming, the editing and posting in like an hour. So that was kind of a bit hard. But yeah, that's ultimately why I started. Question number 2. What was the biggest benefit from the experience? Ultimately, I'm so much more dialed in on every single one of the 9 dimensions. Maybe not financially, but that's okay. We were figuring some things out during the duration of that. But just being able to spend a whole 75-day journey focusing on my physical, my mental, my spiritual, my intellectual, social kind of took a bit of a toll as well. But it meant that I was kind of hanging out with the right, like not the right people, but like people that I was more aligned with, whether I was going to the gym or like things like cold nips. I was meeting people first thing in the morning and I was seeing them. Environmental as well. I was very selective with where I was placing myself. So ultimately, like the biggest benefit was just being able to come more dialed in on the 9 dimensions, but also just being more aligned with myself, because ultimately, like, even before 75 Hard, I loved, exercising pretty much every day. I loved, eating good food, getting out of my comfort zone. And so being able to really do something each day that I was aligned with and passionate with, I don't know, it was just like, it was very fulfilling, just being able to do that each and every day. This is actually quite a popular question. Question number 3, would I do it again? And the answer is yes. I don't know whether I would add the additional challenge aspect to it, but I would love to make it like a yearly thing. Like say at the start of the year, when it is a time that suits myself. Even, if I were to do it with a group of people, I think that would be pretty cool, just keeping each other even more accountable. But just to really set the tone, set the momentum for the start of the year moving forward, it gives you more than enough time to establish some really solid habits that can, really set the momentum for the year on, a number of things that you want to go out and achieve that year, whether it's certain goals, whether it is fitness goals, business goals, anything that you set for yourself. It really sets the momentum and the tone for you to go out and achieve them. Question number 4, what was the hardest part of 75 Hard? I actually found that the 75 fundamentals of it actually like quite easy. Not easy, but like, doing the 2 workouts a day, the water, it was quite, I found, complimenting, and like that part was really easy to get a routine of. It was just more like the challenging like aspect, the challenges aspect, where I had to find out that morning which challenge I was doing, organize it, go out and film it, come home and edit it, and then post it that day, and share it and all the things, reply to comments, and that for like consistently each and every day, which was awesome. Like for some of the videos that I'll look back on, and that was pretty cool. But I even look back now and like, damn, like how did I even have the time in my day to go out and do that? But yeah, it was definitely I spent some pretty late nights after footy training, knowing that I still had to edit and post a video that night, just to go again the next day and the day after that and the day after that, especially depending on the challenge as well. Some of them were pretty brutal, and I was just completely wrecked the next day, and I still just had to go out and do a challenge anyway, which kind of just like, it's that do it anyway, or like that continuous momentum of just going out there, and it's all part of the challenge, and that's what I signed up for. Was I aware of it? Probably not. But did I do it anyway? Sure. My mum actually gave me this question: what kept you so motivated throughout the challenge? It's fair to say that motivation definitely ebbed and flowed throughout the course, which is only natural, and I knew that. But that's where I had to really lean on my discipline and my accountability that I had on myself, like in those struggling times. So not so much motivation, but more like leaning into the discipline side of things, and that only like compounded as the challenge grew, because I knew this is what I signed up for, and I knew, like, I'm not one to give up. If I say that I'm going to do this, like, I'm going to go out and do it. So in anything that I do, like, I love having that integrity to say like I'm true to my word, and so I'll go out there and smash it to the best of my ability, even if it absolutely broke me. And the marathon was a really good example of that, and I'm glad I saved it for last, because yeah, I don't think I was doing much the next day, that's for sure. Question number 6, I believe. What was my favorite challenge? That's actually a good one, because looking back, I did do a bit of my doom scroll on my own videos, and I think it was actually the one that I just like kept on watching and repeat, and I think this is like might be the same for a lot of people, was the rugby tackle one. Because yeah, I just was running full pace at Dawson, and he just stops in my tracks, both our hats come off, and it's that slow-mo is just pretty hilarious. And I look at the video, and I was like, who is dumb enough to do this? And I was like, oh, it's me. And so I found it quite entertaining, and I hope you guys did as well. Didn't hurt as much at the time or the day after, but Sunday, I do remember it felt like I'd done a pretty intense oblique exercise, and he was like, oh, that's my ribs. Cool. And then the last question, pretty common question, pretty stock standard, is that what's next question. And I want to say, don't let them know your next move, but I want you to know that with me moving forward, Obi's Ordinary, Tom O'Brien, whatever it might be, that I'm always working on something. I love the direction that I've been able to get into now, and I'm really excited for to work on a couple of new things moving on into the future, whether it is related to my health promotion degree and sort of things, maybe in the media and communication specialization as well. I've got a couple ideas going, things that I really want to create for you guys as well, to help you get out of your comfort zone and challenge things, or do some of these challenges yourself as well, because I will definitely share in the future as to how like the challenges have changed my life and influenced my life, and how that aspect of getting out of your comfort zone can influence you to grow towards the person that you want to be ultimately. So there's always something in the works. I'm excited for you to see them and engage with them. But yeah. Sam, do you have any questions for me, bro? Spontaneously?
Was there any challenge that you wish someone had asked you to do that you haven't yet been able to do?
Yes, actually, no, there was one. I remember driving along Canning Highway, and I'd never seen it in Perth before. I'd never seen it in person, but fencing. I wanted to do a fencing class. I reckon that'd be pretty sick. So I might even just go do that myself and document it as well. So that was definitely one, for sure. But yeah, that was a Q&A video, 75 hard. Thank you for the ones that submitted some questions. I hope, that you got a bit more of an insight on what that was like, and I'm keen to see you in the next video. Cheers.